Greetings from Healing Garden. Today we are going to do the British and the Nagas. So it's going to be the love and hate affairs between the British and the Nagas. But before we go into that, let's see how and why did he come to this region. Okay, in the beginning of the 19th century, the home kingdom was falling apart. There were divisions. They fight among themselves. A lot of corruptions, and they became very weak. So the Burmese came and took over Assam, the home kingdom. And it was at that time that our home, the Burmese were not behaving well. They're very cruel people. So in those days, so so they invited the British to come and fight the Burmese, and they, the historian said the Holmes invited the British to come to Assam to fight the British for a few months, and they happily came and stayed for 150 years. Anyway, the British came and fought with the Burmese, and they what you call Anglo-Burmese War. And in that war, they defeated the Burmese. So the Burmese, the king of Ava had to surrender, and there was a treaty signed called the Treaty of Yandabo. In that treaty, the king of Ava surrendered and gave Assam, Manipur, and Kachar kingdom to the British. But we must realize that that Treaty of Yandabo did not include Arunachal Pradesh, Naga homeland, and Mizoram, and few others. So it was only the kingdoms that they surrendered to the British. Anyway, when the British got the opportunity to claim these kingdoms and rule this kingdom, they started exploring other areas. Now, what happened? The colonials usually, when they want more land and increase the empire, normally they are looking for gold, diamond, oil, and the things that the resources that can make the empire richer and more powerful. But in the case of Northeast, they did not find gold, but they found something more precious than gold, the green gold, which is tea. So, in the beginning of the 19th century, the British have started drinking tea, and tea has become part of the culture. And afternoon tea is very important for them. So they were importing tea from China, but it was very expensive. So they were very thinking how to grow their own tea. Now, when you have an empire, you must have very good generals. The generals must be very hardworking and not corrupt, and they must be fair. But you must also have good thieves. So English are very good thieves. So one Englishman went to China and stole Chinese tea seeds and brought it to the British Raj. And there was a man in Darjeeling called Dr. Campbell. He planted those seeds and it grew. So he said, my God, we can grow our own tea, you see? And that's how Darjeeling tea started. But at the same time, Robert Bruce was traveling to Upper Assam, and he found that the Simpos were drinking tea, which is now Arunachal Assam area, not Upper Assam. And he said, oh, look, tea is indigenous to this region. We can grow ourselves. And at the same time, an Englishman who was posted in Chimagidima Samagutin, not posted, but they were already there. He went to Razia and he found wild tea bush. So he was very happy. He was very excited. And he, according to him, he asked the chief whether he could collect the tea seeds. Well, I don't think Angamis don't have a chief. He must be a Peyumie who is a spokesperson and a leader of the village. Anyway, the man said, "Okay, you take as much as you want because we don't eat this bush." So the Englishman collected tea seeds from Razia Pema and took it to Assam and planted it. So what we call Assam tea today is a hybrid of the Simpos and Naga tea and the Chinese tea. And they developed this tea and they started what you call Assam Tea Company in London. And they started growing tea, thousands of acres. They started were very small, but immediately, very soon, they employed about 800 British officers to in the tea plantation, and they were employing like 4 or 5 lakhs of laborers. Of course, these laborers came from Jharkhand and Orissa and all the Adivasis. They brought them in, tea planters. But that is how the economy was very important to them. But the colonials also have strategies and plans, very clever. Number one, if they want to conquer another country, another land, they must create a story so that they can justify. So in this case, they found tea. Eventually, they'll find gold, oil. So they created a story and said Nagas are savage. Therefore, we must conquer them and make them civilized. What they actually mean is we must take their land so that we can uh, take their natural resources. And without taking off the Naga hills, it was not possible to grow tea in the Assam Valley because the Nagas keep going down and raiding them. So this story was created, and as you know, if you create a story and you tell them that you are a savage for 50 years, then you believe that you are a savage, and that is how the British came. It is in search of wealth and of power and of glory that they came. And the British Empire, of course, became very, very powerful. There is a saying that the sun never set on the British Empire because somewhere on the planet there is a sun, daytime in the British Empire, always a daytime in the British Empire, whether it is in Africa or in Australia or India, is always a daytime. And therefore, Shashi Tharoor said, well, it was always daytime because even God did not trust the British in the dark. So, with that, we will go to the next episode, which will be Anglo Naga War, which lasted for 50 years. But if you want to listen to the next episode, subscribe to my channel and we will go to the next Anglo Naga War. So, have a good day and see you